Hello everyone, welcome to this tutorial. Today we will make a long sleeve crop top and I will also show you how I take my measurements so you can adjust it to your body size or to anybody else. I'll be using this yarn which is 100% cotton yarn. It is recommended to work it with a 3 to 4 millimeter hook. I'll use both sizes of crochet hook. I'll use the 4 millimeter hook to make the main part of the top, and I will use the 3 millimeter hook to make the ribbons. For this tutorial we need a couple of measurements. The first one is the burst measurement. So take the measurement around your breast. I want my top to be fit, but I still want it to be comfortable. So I want to make sure I can still slide my palm through. For the rest of the tutorial, this burst measurement divided by 2, I will call it B. The next measurement that we need is the length of the top, and this is completely up to you how long you want your top to be. For the rest of the tutorial, I will call this measurement L. The next measurement that we need is the arm space. Take the measurement around your shoulder, divide this measurement by 2, and this will give you the length or the width that we want to leave for the arm space. This measurement around your shoulder, I will call it A for the rest of the tutorial. Next measurement is the neck hole. For this, take the measurement around your neck and make it tight. I mean very tight, in a way that you can't even slide your finger through. Next measurement is the distance from your shoulder to the start of your armpit. Dividing this measurement by 2 will give you where we want our neck hole to start. I will show you in the rest of the tutorial. Hereafter, I will call this measurement SA, which is the distance from your shoulder to the start of your armpit. I will start by making a slip knot, and then after the slip knot we will make a chain, our foundation chain. I will do the foundation chain with the 4 millimeter crochet hook. This foundation chain should be the burst measurements divided by 2. So for me, my burst measurement is 90 centimeters, so my foundation chain will have 45 centimeters. Well, I have my 45 centimeters. My foundation chain is ready. Now I will switch to my 3 millimeter crochet hook. For row 1, we will do double crochets. So start in the 3rd loop. So skip the 1st, the 2nd, and then in the 3rd loop, make a double crochet. These 2 chains that we skipped stand for the first double crochet of the row. So make double crochets across until you get to the end of the row. My first row is ready. To start row 2, chain 2, turn the work, and these 2 chains count as the first double crochet of the row. Now row 2 is going to be a row of front and back post. For the front post, yarn over, insert your crochet hook in a way that you push the double crochet to the front, and then you make your double crochet. For the back post, yarn over, insert the crochet hook from the back, push the stitch to the back, and then make a double crochet. Once again, yarn over for the front post, insert the crochet in a way that you push the stitch to the front, make your double crochet, and for the back post, insert the crochet from the back, push the stitch to the back and make a double crochet. So continue like that until you get to the end of the row, front and back post, front and back post. On top of the 2 chains that were at the beginning, make a double crochet. And that's it for row 2. To start row 3, chain 2, turn the work, and we'll make another row of front and back post. This time, if you look at your work and then you have something looking like a back post, then make a back post. If it looks like a front post, make a front post. For me, the next stitch is like a back post, so I'm making a back post. The next one looks like a front post, it's forward, so I'll make a front post. So do it like that until the end of the row. Where the stitch looks like a back post, make a back post. Where it looks like a front post, make a front post. Row 3 is completed. Row 4 is going to be a row of single crochets, so chain 1, turn the work, and this chain does not count as a stitch, it's just a turning chain. So in the very first stitch, make a single crochet and repeat single crochets across until you get to the end of the row. After row 4, row 5 is going to be a row of single crochet. I'll chain 1, and now I'll change and switch to the 4mm crochet hook. So we'll start row 5 by making a single crochet in the very first stitch, and row 5 is going to be again a row of single crochets. So make single crochets across until the end of row 5. After row 5 is completed, chain 1, turn the work. Row 6 is going to be a row of single crochet with a little change. So in the very first stitch where we chained 1, make a single crochet, and then the next single crochet we will do it at the bottom of the stitch. So here is the top of the stitch. I'm not going this way, I'm rather going at the bottom. Yeah, so go through the bottom and make a single crochet. The next one is going to be a single crochet on top of the stitch, so through the top make a single crochet. The next one you will do the single crochet at the bottom of the stitch, and you'll notice that when you do the single crochet at the bottom, it creates a kind of V. Yeah, like this, it creates a kind of V, and we'll use them in the next row. So continue like that. You make one single crochet on top of the stitch. The next stitch you make the single crochet at the bottom, on top, at the bottom. So continue like that until you get to your last stitch, and for the last stitch work on top. Yeah, so on top of the last stitch make a single crochet. Chain 1, turn the work, and to start row 7 we will make a single crochet. The start and end of the row will always be single crochets. So single crochet in the very first stitch. In the next stitch you have to check whether you have a V or a normal single crochet. What I mean by V is, looking at your work, you have these two pieces of yarn looking like a V, then you have a single crochet here, the next one is a V, you have a single crochet, you have a V, you have a single crochet, you have a V. I hope you can see what I'm calling the V. Yeah, so yeah, where you have a V, make a single crochet on top of it, and if you have a normal single crochet, then make the single crochet at the bottom. For example, my next stitch here is a V, so I'll make a single crochet on top of it, and the next one is a normal double crochet. I don't have a V here, so I'll make the single crochet at the bottom. My next stitch is a V, so the single crochet is on top. The next one is a normal single crochet. I'll make the single crochet at the bottom. So it's actually a repetition of row 6, only that here you have to pay attention where you work on top and where you work at the bottom. On top of the last stitch, make a single crochet, chain 1, turn the work, and row 8 will be a repetition of row 7. Keep repeating row 7 until you reach a length of L minus A divided by 2, L being the total length that you want for your top, and A is the arm space which we took around the shoulder. So divide your arm space by 2 and subtract it from the total length of the top. I reached my 21 centimeters. Now I'm ready to start working on the armhole, and I also put some stitch markers just to count the number of rows that I made, so I can replicate the same thing at the back. So at this stage I already chained 1 and ready to turn my work. So for this row we will make a decrease. Insert your crochet hook, pull the yarn out, don't finish the single crochet, and in the next stitch insert your crochet hook, pull the yarn out, and then you have 3 loops on the hook, close your single crochet. So we just made a decrease. I will mark this first decrease to know where my first decrease is located. Next, we'll continue working our single crochets on top and at the end of the stitch as we were doing since the beginning. We will do this until we reach the end of the row, and there we will make a decrease as well. So continue until you have 2 stitches left, and we will do a decrease. And here I have 2 stitches left, so in the second I'll start a single crochet, not finish it, go in the last stitch, and then finish the single crochet. So I just made a decrease at the end of this row. I will also mark this side just to remember myself later where I made the first decrease. Well, now we will do another row of single crochet, but this time without any reduction. So we will do 3 rows without reduction, and after those 3 rows without reduction we will do another reduction. What I mean is we will do 1 reduction every 4th row. So we have a first row of decrease, we will have 1 2 3 rows without decrease, and then the 4th row we will make a decrease. So we will keep repeating this 1 decrease every 4th row until we reach a length of L minus SA. L being the total length of your top, SA is the measurement from your shoulder to the start of your armpit. For example, my L, like I said, is 40 centimeters, My SA is 11 centimeters, so L minus SA is 40 minus 11 for me, which is equal to 29 centimeters. So I'll continue doing one decrease every fourth row until I have a length from bottom to top, a length that will be 29 centimeters. I made a total of 6 reductions. Once you reach your L minus SA length, then continue working without reductions until you reach a total length of L minus SA divided by 2. Once you reach your L minus SA length, then we can place the neck space. For that, we will need two informations. First, we will need the width of the panel at this stage. So take the measurement of your panel at this stage. Mine is about 35 centimeters. Now, from these 35 centimeters, we will remove the width that we want to leave for the neck. This is given by the neck measurement that we took divided by 2. So for me, for example, my neck measurement, which I called N, the N measurement for me was 30 centimeters. So divided by 2, that is 15 centimeters. It means that in the middle, I have to leave 15 centimeters for the neck. Yeah, so leaving 15 centimeters in the middle, I will be left with 20 centimeters that I have to equally allocate on each side of the neck. So this is what I mean. I will leave 10 centimeters on one side, then 15 centimeters, that will take me to 25. These 15 centimeters are meant for the neck hole, and then the rest is left for the other side of the neck. So I will place some stitch markers. I will measure 10 centimeters on this side and place a stitch marker. Same thing on the other side, 10 centimeters, and then I'll count the number of stitches to make sure I have the same number of stitches both sides of the neck. Once you place the stitch markers for the neck space, we'll continue working. So chain 1, and for this first row after placing the neck space, we'll do our single crochets as we use 2 until you reach the next stitch marker. Good. Once you reach the other stitch marker, chain 1, turn the work, and for this row we will make a reduction. As usual, pull the yarn out, don't finish the single crochet, then move to the next stitch and close the single crochet. So this is a first reduction. As we did for the arm space, we will make one reduction every fourth row until you reach the total length that you want for your top. So for me, I'll continue working like this. So I'll do a reduction only at the beginning of the row. Don't do a reduction at the end. Yeah, this is different from the way we did it for the arm space. Here for the neck hole, the reduction is only at the beginning, where the neck space starts. One reduction every fourth row until you reach the total length of your top. I have my 40 centimeters, so I will stop here. and then work on the second side of the neckline. So now I can cut my yarn at this point, and fast enough. Go onto the second side. I'll reattach my yarn, but not from inside, not from where the neckline is going to pass, but rather on the edge. So reattach your yarn, and then make the first single crochet. Next, continue doing single crochets, one on top, one at the bottom, following the pattern that we were using since the beginning of the tutorial, until you reach the other stitch marker for the neck line, and then you repeat what we did on the other side. Then repeat what we did on the other side. You do your single crochets for 3 rows, and then the 4th row you make a reduction again, and you repeat that until you get the same thing that you have on this side. Well, my neckline is completed. I made 3 reductions in the process, and like that we just completed the front panel. To start the back panel, do the exact same thing that we did until the end, except that there is no neck space to leave. Yeah, so when you reach this length for your top, just continue working without leaving neck space, without doing any reduction, until you reach the total length. Yeah, so what I mean is you start with the ribbons at the bottom, continue until you come to the armpit, work your reductions. After the reductions, you will continue working until you reach the total length. No neck space to leave at the back. And once you have your back panel, I will meet you. I have my 2 pieces, my 2 panels ready. Here is the front panel with the neckline that we defined, and we have also the back panel that I just completed. So now it is time to join them from the straps. So I think I'll turn the work so you can see it better. So right here we have the back panel. This is where I stopped for the back panel, and now I will insert the crochet in the first stitch of the first strap, yeah, of the front panel. Insert your crochet, and we will do the sewing with single crochets. So make a single crochet, and then continue like that with single crochets in all the stitches until you sew the strap together. Great, so that is it for the first strap. I will cut the yarn at this stage and also sew the second straps together. Well, I also just did the sewing for the second strap, and now we will do a row of single crochets in the neckline. So without cutting the yarn, continue in the next stitch, make a single crochet, and continue like that with single crochets across until you go all around, and you will cut the yarn here. So that will be the end for the neckline. once you get to the end, make a slip knot and then cut your yarn to finish. So neckline is done. Of course, you have to hide these tails of yarn. Now we can start with the arms, the ruffles. Open your project, your work, like this. I put some stitch markers, so this is where I did the first reduction. I also marked it on the second panel. So I have my two panels opened up like this, yeah, to make it easy. And from here I will reattach my yarn, reattach the yarn from where we did the reduction to create the armhole. So this was the place where I did the first reduction. I will reattach my yarn from there. Great. After I reattach the yarn, make single crochets. So in that very place where you reattach the yarn, first single crochet, make a row of single crochet from there until you reach the other the place where you did the first reduction for the second panel. Yeah, I hope you get it. So this is the neckline, this is one panel, this is the second panel. Make single crochets from the first reduction stitch until you reach the other reduction stitch of the other panel. One single crochet in each row. Well, so I now have my last stitch, so one single crochet. So that is it for the first row of the ruffle. Now to start the second row, chain 3, because the second row is going to be a row of double crochets. So chain 3, turn the work, and we'll make a first we'll make another another double crochet in this very place where we did the 3 chains. Yeah, so in the very first stitch, yarn over, insert your crochet hook and make a double crochet, which means that we are actually making increases in each stitch. So in the next stitch, yarn over, make a double crochet, still in the same stitch, another double crochet. So 2 double crochets in each stitches, that is an increase in every stitch. So you do that until you get to the end of the row, until you get to where we started from. The second row of the ruffle is finished. Chain again 3, turn the work to start the third row. So this third row of the ruffle is the last one for the ruffle. Now we are ready to sew together the 2 pieces on the side. So bring your 2 pieces together, yeah, the front on the back panel, like this. So this is the neckline, this is where we just made the ruffle, and now I will sew together the armpit down till the bottom of the top. This is the wrong side. Yeah, we are on the wrong side, exactly where we did the single crochets to sew the strap. Yeah, so we are still on the wrong side, and from there, the way we did for the straps, make single crochets. At the end, once you are done sewing, then cut the yarn and fasten off, and you have to repeat the same thing. So from making the ruffles to sewing the edges together, you will do the same thing on the second side.